Hey Magic fans, welcome back. Captain Clyde here. Just want to have a quick talk with you guys today. We're kind of in a lull between box openings. Strixhaven's not coming out till the end of April-ish time. So I'm trying to make some plans what to do before then for you guys. Obviously, I'll cover some other stuff. Obviously, Magic news and leaks and so forth and so on. And we'll talk about some of that here too. But as I think about that, I like to revisit, and don't mind me, I'm just going to finish putting my rares in my binder while I talk to you guys. I know that when I talked to you guys last about time spirals, this will be the first topic I'd like to get a hold of. I talked a lot about how it was a D for value. So, obviously an A for opening, and I'm not going to downplay that. I think the opening of their product was fantastic. I loved it. I thought it was great. It was fun to open. I would love to have played some draft packs with it. Actually play draft. It'd been phenomenal. But because of the sudden and abrupt spike in the price of Time Spiral, it's kind of changing my ratings. Not because I feel any different about card value, but just because the supply and demand value has raised card prices and changed the data. Because that's really what it's about, guys. It's about the data, right? There's none of this, fugazi, I don't care what something's worth, it should only be, X amount of dollars. I go off the real stuff and things I actually see online and things like that, and what the real value is. And, the boxes were $229 to start with, and I already thought that was high, right? So I was a little upset because, well, I didn't want to pay $229 for them, because I didn't pay that much to begin with. I paid around $200, I believe. But the second problem I had with it was the fact that the spike was already really high compared to what the box's original price was, which was around $140 to $150, until everybody started just jacking the price up, right? But for example, I showed you guys that foil wasteland that I had, and I was really upset because, at the time I priced it, it was priced at $7. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. Monday morning, by the time I listed that land after I did the videos for Monday about EV, I did all my videos on when I opened the box. And when I opened that box, that land was going for $7 TCG. When I got around to putting it on eBay after I'd already done the video on Box EV, that land was up in the $50 range. And I thought to myself, what the heck is going on? And as I went through and started checking other prices, I noticed the demand for this set was insane. And as of right now, filming this video, current box prices that I can find for Time Spiral, the cheapest ones are $279. And that's just nuts to me. I mean, that's more than the master sets when they first came out. I mean, just wow. So, and that short supply with the heavy demand has jacked the prices up on everything. So, I sold all those cards that I opened relatively quickly. I mean, within a couple days, if not hours, of posting them on eBay. So I did actually make more money than I thought. So I went back and did some more calculations, and it came out to about an average of about $280 to $290 a box. We'll say $280. We'll just keep it simple numbers, which is obviously a lot better than what I paid. I made $80 a box. But here's the thing, guys. Now, I sold all those cards. I didn't keep any of them because I've been playing Magic for a while, so I have some of those old cards. So I don't really need the reprint ones. Also, I'm not sure how good those foils are going to be in the long run. And I could be wrong about that because I've been wrong about a lot of stuff. The supply and demand thing is just something you can't control sometimes. So I just figured I'd cash out now while I had a chance and just take the money I could and run. Especially since I didn't get any to save. If I'd have got something to save, it might have been a different story. But, so, like I said, Box EV was right around $280. Which, as I opened the boxes, the first couple was $220. And then the next one was $240. And I was like, wow, that was a good box. And then I did the next one. Now, mind you, I did every one of those boxes on a different day. The last box was around $275. And that was when the prices started going up. So as I went back through and looked at other cards, I'm like, wow, I think I got some of this wrong. And especially when I started posting on eBay is when I really realized that the market spike for these cards was just out of hand. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, the value of this set right now is easily a B, if not close to an A. But I still think it actually falls in the range of a C for me, just because the price has already spiked so much to $279 that, like, that's twice as much as a normal collector's box. And plus, nobody's going to pay that for a master set, or nobody has been yet, so I don't know if they ever will again. Do I think the price is going to go up more? I think it will. I mean, don't get me wrong. But it's just hard to say. You know, because what if they do another master reprint or another Time Spiral like-ish set, and they time shifts other cards into that set that were the same ones in Time Spiral, or a couple that were the same, or whatever, right? So that's just one thing I wanted to touch base on first with you guys, just to kind of give you a little bit of an apology, redo my rating, and kind of let you guys know what's going on with that product. So if you can get one for, I would say less than $250, shipping out the door plus taxes, I mean, I would jump on it like, I don't know what, man. I'd just be all over it personally. And if you guys don't want to buy it, feel free to drop me a line at my email that's attached to this, and by God, I'll go buy it. I'll open it on the stream for you guys. I ain't scared. Just because I think the price is great at $250 if you get it shipped with taxes and everything. That's just because it's $279, without shipping and without taxes. So you're easily paying over $300 a box, which is just absurd. The price value is already doubled on the box. So grain of salt, guys. I can admit when I'm wrong. And I really called this one wrong. And I think maybe it has something to do with the fact that, everybody's opening back up. Stores are talking about running events again. The mask mandates are going away. I've mentioned before, Gen Con's now on, so that means that actual Magic in person will be coming back probably shortly. So, I mean, it's got a lot of things going for it, which is really going to drive the product up. So, something to think about. So, the next thing I want to talk about with Time Spiral is I've had a lot of friends tell me that some of the boxes are almost godlike, and the term god comes from, you just get nothing but good stuff out of the box, and you can just open some absurd stuff. But I've also had reports that some people's boxes are bad, because some people are saying, well, you only get one foil per case, and on the vid, I got 4 foils out of 3 boxes. So am I just that lucky? I don't think so. I really think it's 1 foil per box. But with that said, the other boxes I'm hearing about, the issue they're having is they don't have foils in them. And since this is a limited print run, that basically means is all the print sheets that were track printed and all that stuff to kind of even out the randomness to make it a little more fair are jacked up, meaning that, for example, the box I opened that had 2 foils, when the box is only supposed to have 1, that means there's another box out there somewhere somebody else is going to get that is not going to have a foil. And that could be a big problem too with the set, because that means you could have dud boxes out there that doesn't actually have anything, and other boxes that just have the bomb, which is great for those guys who get the bomb boxes. I mean, I'm nothing against those guys, but it makes a bad experience for new players or even seasoned players when they open, spend $300 on a box and don't get anything of value, which is what I'm kind of hearing in the lamest sense of the term. So something to think about that, guys. If you've seen it, let me know. If you haven't seen it, let me know. Like I said, that's just some of the reports that I'm getting. Maybe it could be the people are getting cards they don't think are as valuable, and so they're upset because they don't get the cards that they want. Who knows what the real story of it is, right? So just something for you guys to think about out there. Next thing I like to talk about, past Time Spiral, now that I've fixed my my boo-boo, is Strixhaven. So we've actually already had a leak. Imagine that. Leaks are due in, 2 more weeks or whatever it is, and we've already got one. That's just how Wizards rolls. But anyway, and these cards that were leaked were not commander cards for the commander set like everybody's saying, because the card number is actually low, which means they're in the set. They're not in the 300s or whatever it would be that you normally see those kind of cards that would be in the alternative sets like that. And one of those is Kazmina. There's a brand new Kazmina. It's blue-green. It's got some good stuff on it. It seems like an okay planeswalker. It's not too shabby. But I don't think it's anything good. It is a 3-costing planeswalker, so it's alright, and I'll cover the cards later. But the big thing that I like is Professor Onyx is the new one that's spoiled. It blatantly says on there that it's Liliana. And, you know, I'm all about my girl, Lily. And I think it's really sweet that they've got her back in the set. You know, she's a professor. She's teaching young planeswalkers. You know, there's talk of Teferi's kids being there. And it's a really cool concept because also at the same time, if you remember from the lore, like, she's currently being hunted for the whole War of the Sparks scenario. So she's a wanted woman. And that may be why the whole, hey, I'm going to go undercover as Professor Onyx and try to redo myself and yada yada, maybe even make amends, so forth and so on. So that's really cool, and I like that a lot. Her stuff is pretty balanced. It's really good. It's a 6-cost planeswalker. You know, it's got some sacrifice and some other stuff on it. The opponent chooses, though, so it's not, you know, all that. It's not all that great, but at the same time, it's not overpowered. So you're not going to have her just like take over games like normal planeswalkers do. And like I said, we'll do some actual spoilers when we actually get a good chunk of cards out, so I can go over them all at the same time. I'm not going to waste your guys' time by going over a couple cards that probably everybody already knows about. So with that said, too, also to revisit the selling of the time spiral cards, one thing I forgot to mention, you guys. I got a little list over here, and apparently I'm pretty bad at reading it because I didn't mention it when I was on the subject. But through my eBay store, it tracks how much my cost is for a lot of different things. And one of the things it's telling me is my average selling fees, including shipping, is running me about 21.1% of my profit. So what that means is that I paid $200, and we'll say it's $229, but we'll say $230. $230 for the box of Time Spiral, and yeah, I got back $280. But because of the profit loss just to shipping fees and so forth, 21% of $280 is, you know, $56. So you minus $56 by $280, and it's actually $226. So I actually technically lost $3. And I probably got that money made up somewhere in a couple common foils, which were a couple bucks, and what have you. Don't get me wrong, but I'm still breaking even at the cost of $229. So like if you buy that for like $280, I still think you're going to lose money, but there are valuable cards in there, and there's a good chance that you can make a few bucks. But I definitely still wouldn't buy it for more than $300 if you're planning on just cracking the box to sell it. I really don't think you're going to make any money doing that. So I still stand by that. However, I would raise my value rating of that set to about a B. And the only reason I do that is because you're not making money while keeping cards. For example, if I had to rate the Kaldheim set I just went through, I would rate it close to B+, only because after I went through all the set boxes and everything and made all the money I could make by selling all my extras and keeping a play set of 4 that you guys see right here, I still made about, after fees and everything, I think I made $100. But at the same time, you know, if I got paid by the hour, I probably got paid $1 an hour, like sweatshop fee. But it did allow me to get a play set of 4 of everything, you know, recoup my money so I can do the next box opening. So I give that about a B+. I mean, if you're going to hit the A, like, you're going to have to, like, really come over the top. So, and maybe Strixhaven could hit that range, right? Because that's really what it's about, right? If you're cracking these boxes, especially, I mean, you got to look at it like this, too. Like, that's a master set. Like, those are your old cards with $50, $200, $100, you know, cards in there that could possibly jack the price of the box up. So not hitting those, you know, with damnations and $40 this and $50 that, it becomes real easy to be like, oh, well, it's definitely an A because the cards are so expensive. Yeah, but the cards are real expensive, but you still didn't make the money back that you could sell them plus keep cards. So that's really the difference between a set like that and a set like Standard. And so that's why I would probably give Standard sets a B+. Now, mind you, once Kaldheim rotates out, if there's no good cards in it, to crack a case of Kaldheim, value-wise, would probably drop it to close to a C or maybe even a D if there's no playable cards in it. But that's just the nature of the beast, right? And then that may change in 5 to 6 years when the card values go back up because they don't get reprinted. It's a teeter-totter up and down thing, and all we can really do is kind of live in the moment and just speculate on what's going to happen moving forward. I mean, for the love of God, look at what Theros is doing. I mean, Theros, the Theros curse preceded the second coming of Theros, and everybody was like, $50 a box EV, this is going to be the awful set, yada, yada, yada. And then all of a sudden we had all the Titans and everything else, and now the box values are shooting up around 120 to 150, and the box EVs up to $80, $90, $100. Like, what? It's Theros, for the love of God. What happened, right? So you just never know, guys. So with that said, I'd like to say thanks a lot. I'm probably going to finish out the week. I've got a box of VIPs I think I'm going to open, and then try to figure out what else I want to do for you guys in the interim of us having some slow time with nothing to open. But don't you worry, I'll be making videos, and I will find something to open to keep you guys entertained. So until then, get ready to get out there and play some Magic with your friends and family out in the actual good local LGS. And as always, guys, remember, be kind. That's the captain speaking. Talk to you later.